Darius Slayton basically says he doesn't expect any kind of changes, which is kind of crazy for a guy who he himself is a free agent. Just saying.
Yeah.
Seems ironic considering they were talking about trading him during the midway point of the season here, but what do I know? So he was asked.
Well, they've only tried to get rid of him for the past 3 years, so
exactly, which is just insane. But he's been through. He's like the longest tenured Giant, basically. Him and Dexter Lawrence are the longest ones at this point, and the two of them have been through some really, really bad time with the Giants here. So he was asked about those comparisons to prior crappy years. That sounds bad, but it's the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Back in 2019, he was asked to compare to that, which of course a really bad year. That was the year that Ben McAdoo ran rampant and couldn't keep control of the team and ended up getting fired midway through the season. He said, "I mean, from a streak losing, it's similar, but I mean, very different team at that time. But I would probably say that our roster then isn't what it is now."
That's true.
Yeah, it's a different roster. It's the same results. I mean, I think he was trying to say the roster is better now. That's like,
I think that was a soft, yeah, it's different. I don't know if it's better, but it's different.
Listen, vanilla ice cream and chocolate ice cream is still ice cream, right?
Touche.
Exactly, it's still ice cream. Comparing it to 21, which of course was the Joe Judge meltdown year at that point, that he literally had a mental breakdown at the podium in front of the press and caused his demise. He said 2021 was his own beast. That was its own deal, but yeah, I wouldn't compare this year to that year. We just had a lot of other stuff going on that year that we don't have necessarily going on now. We're just losing. That is the only common denominator between the two. That's kind of the most important denominator, right?
Yeah. Listen, Bill Belichick wasn't the nicest guy, but at least he won a lot of his games. He won you a lot of rings.
What do you put up with nonsense? He likes stable, basically. That's what he's saying here.
I'm just saying a win's a win. Doesn't matter what's going on. Teams will go around and enjoy. They'll enjoy crappy coaches or like how they're treating someone as long as they're winning championships.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the weird thing about it. Dable hasn't been well thought of for his treatment of people in the process too, as well. So, not necessarily players, but at least staff members. And it's funny, you don't hear anything of that this year. So, could be interesting to see what's going on as the season ends there with that. He says, he was asked about the planes going over MetLife the last 2 games. He said, "I have not seen either plane either this week or last week. I mean, people got time and money. That's how they choose to spend it. It on them."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Call me crazy, but if I was a athlete playing literally catch for a living, like, let's be honest, he's a receiver. He's playing catch for a living and getting paid millions to do it. If somebody enjoyed what I did so much that they'd be willing to spend money on a plane to show their support, because listen, you may not like the way it's coming out, but that's support for a team. Like, I care about this team. I care so much. I'm willing to spend this much money to go ahead and show my opinion of what's going on. Like, that is, in its own way, a support for the team.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're spending capital.
Yeah. I would take that as quite the compliment. Like, the fact that I would ever be involved with something somebody would be so passionate about. They would pay literally to put up a plane above the stadium. Like, that's something there a little bit to be like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that should be a moment to step back and take a look and go, okay, this is that important to somebody. That's a big thing. Then he's talking about that, I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I understand the fans' perspective, the frustration, and all that type of thing. At the end of the day, I think we have a talented roster. I think they built a talented roster here, and we just have to do things a little bit better to get it back in the. Yeah. That something seems a bit wrong here. We have a roster that's 2-12.
Yeah, so talented.
So talented. So
looks talented enough to win 2 games.
And again, I've said it before, and I'm not going back, and I still think the Giants aren't as far as people think they are. They're just missing some very key components here, especially. But listen, we said it before. Slayton will back anybody. He is that teammate. I feel like he's the guy that if you were in a fight, you'd want your corner.
Yeah. He's taking off his glasses and he's ripping off his shirt. He's ready to go.
Yeah, like he's back Daniel Jones how many times in his days there. Here he is back in the current coaching staff and Joe Shane in the process. Like I said, he's a stand-up guy. I just think that some of the comments, the way he's wording them, is just a little bit out there. A little bit tone deaf to what we're dealing with as fans. Which I granted, anytime you're complaining about football, let's be honest, it's a hashtag first world problems thing. I get it. But still, this has been rough. It's been a rough 10 years at this point, and
very rough 10 years.
He wasn't even here for the whole part of it. That's the crazy part. Slayton got into the middle of it, and we haven't gotten out of it yet. So, but yeah, like I said, I get where he's coming from. He's trying to back his people, and I respect that. I just think some of the ways wording this could be just a little different there. So,
yeah.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.